Welcome back in a Flash Tuesday in the 5th day of January. A little housekeeping before I go any further. As you hopefully noticed on last night's program, and if you were here you certainly did, that we had some technical difficulties. I had some technical difficulties about halfway through the program. Short summation, every year throughout the holiday break, when I get a few days off for Christmas and New Year's, I also take that time to do some maintenance and upkeeping on, of course, all the hardware and software that I used at the program. And in doing so, some settings were not cooperating. I just simply did not have time on the fly to fix those after I realized the issue during the middle of the program. So my apologies. But again, another year, another few upgrades, and some more as soon as the equipment comes in. Upgrades still yet to come, which will continue to improve the programming here of Your News Today as you see it on, of course, Foothills and Howard's Cable, and on our web channels as well and website. With that said, I hope everything is running smoothly tonight. It is running earlier, my time, not yours, as you may notice over my shoulder. The show recorded earlier today in an effort to make my way, along with Andrew and the rest of the Hornets and the family, to, of course, the Pike Central ball game, the season opener for the Hornets tonight. I'll take you to the season opener for the Lady Hornets last night in just a few moments, and some other sporting news, COVID updates, a police pursuit today that ended in the arrest of a man from Magoffin County, wanted in another state, and several outstanding warrants as well. I'll take you to the scene, tell you how that all unfolded, and I have a host of other news and information. I have some good news that is being shared with us tonight via the Magoffin County 911 Center of Operations. I'll have more on this later, and just because of the pandemic and some other issues, we still haven't done our report on the new 911 Center, as it was completely redone when moved over into the Magoffin County Courthouse. It is completely state-of-the-art by any standard. We'll be talking about that. But some other technological advances are going to result in some better response times from our first responders and law enforcement, because if you are a customer of our sponsor, Appalachian Wireless, and you now dial 911 from your cell phone, as most everyone knows, historically up until now, dialing 911 from your cell phone on any carrier resulted in that number going to the Pikeville Post of the Kentucky State Police. But if you're an Appalachian Wireless customer, 911 from your cell phone now will directly be routed to Magoffin County 911 and a local call. That, of course, is a big step, something they've been trying to accomplish for quite some time. They also tell us that other carriers will soon start to fall in line with this. But indeed, some good news from 911, and that's one of the things that we'll talk about when we get to talk about our new 911 center. As far as schools, I know Floyd County School Superintendent, the superintendent's office there, has made an announcement that they will continue virtual learning until the end of January. And we know that they are going to continue as they are through January. And at the 1st or near the 1st of February, we'll then go to a hybrid model, at least in lieu of the extremely high positivity rate. Floyd County is still remaining very high. More than 75% of the district's board members in a special meeting voted to continue virtual education for now because of the high positivity rate continuing in Floyd County and, of course, the ongoing pandemic. I reached out to David Gibson, superintendent of Paintsville Schools, today to find out their plans. They are working on that and hope to have an announcement soon. Tomorrow, I may have an announcement from Magoffin County School Superintendent Scott Helton in regards to the end of virtual learning, and then moving over to what we believe will be a hybrid situation for Magoffin County students. Of course, classes resumed yesterday virtually in Magoffin County after the holiday break. They are permitted to do so in person on some level beginning next week, I guess it is, per state guidelines and recommendations, but we'll have our local update and announcement soon, hopefully as soon as tomorrow, I am told by Helton. A man was the subject of a police pursuit today. I'll have an update on this tomorrow, but in lieu of my having to get the show produced and out early, I wasn't able to get all of the details. The investigation was still ongoing. But a sheriff's deputy with the Magoffin County Health Department was nearly hit head-on today while on patrol. A police pursuit that never reached, as far as I know, speeds greater than 60 or 65 miles per hour then ensued, but it lasted for many, many miles. 2 passengers in the pickup truck that you're about to see actually jumped out of the moving vehicle. Police say not to elude capture, but to elude possible injury or worse from the driver of the pickup truck himself. The near collision with the deputy started this afternoon on Punchin on Middle Fork. It was a white pickup truck. Inside 3 people, the driver and 2 passengers. The 2 passengers, which I'm told by another sheriff's deputy, literally jumped out of what was then slow-moving truck, maybe 5 or 10 miles per hour in the Route 378 area down and around, to try to get away from the driver, who was highly, highly under the influence, really not knowing where he was throughout much of the events, from what I understand, according to deputies. He then led them on a pursuit down the Mountain Parkway onto Johnson Fork, on to Settlement Branch, which is behind the pond there, just as you turn onto the left onto Johnson Fork. Then literally circled a residence. You can see the tracks left behind. Then drove his truck over that tree which had been downed, I'm sure at least a 2.5-foot diameter tree, and then jumped and fled on foot and was apprehended by Montgomery County Sheriff's Deputy Jonathan Holbrook about a half to 3/4 of a mile from there. The 2 people that jumped out of the truck were uninjured, I can report. They were also picked up by the deputy who was behind and brought back to the scene, and also identified the driver as this man who was the one that was apprehended, 36-year-old Philip Harmon of Sagersville, who was wanted on several outstanding warrants, at least one from out of state, some other, I believe, from neighboring counties. I'll have an update on this entire situation tomorrow. The pursuit itself ranged anywhere from 45 miles per hour, 35 to 45 to maybe 55 miles per hour throughout its duration, but several miles in which he refused to stop for authorities. He's been charged thus far with being a fugitive from out of state, several counts of wanton endangerment in the first degree, fleeing or evading police, no driver's license, criminal mischief, reckless driving. The investigation continues, and again, I'll have an update on the matter on tomorrow's show. For now, I'll be right back. Know that life cannot come to a complete standstill because of the pandemic, but we can make sure that you can continue to bank safely and securely by calling either branch of the Sagersville National Bank to schedule any in-lobby services, or by using either of our drive-thrus. Mondays through Fridays, the main drive-thru is open from 8 until 3, and the branch drive-thru is open from 8 until 5, and the branch drive-thru is also open on weekends, Saturdays 8 until noon, with ATMs available 24/7 at both locations. Or by taking advantage of our completely free 24-hour internet banking and bill pay, banking by phone, remote deposit, automatic payment services, and more. Sagersville National Bank, always making your banking easier and safer. If it's not the most wonderful time of the year, it is certainly the second, the annual after Christmas sale at the Seasonal Shop, where most everything Christmas in the store is at least 50% off, clearance items 75% off, Yonder t-shirts 40% off, Natural Life 40% off, only while it all lasts, and only at the Seasonal Shop in downtown Sagersville next to Fraser's Prater Drugstore.
Are you tired of the same old cell phone? Want a brand new phone but really don't want to pay hundreds of dollars up front for it? Then Appalachian Wireless has the deal for you. Get the phone you actually want instead of settling for a cheaper phone with the Appalachian Advantage plan. Instead of paying $400 or more for the best phone, simply pay the taxes up front, then a few bucks more on your monthly bill. Stop by your local Appalachian Wireless store or dealer today for more information. It's the better, simpler way to pay, and it's called the Appalachian Advantage. Better service, bigger savings. That's today's Appalachian Wireless.
There is never a good time for a breakdown. They will happen, and your car at some point is going to need some repairs and maintenance. And Black Smoke Performance is open and here with professional, fast, safe service. And they now have certified full air conditioning, diagnostics, and repair to keep you cool in whatever you drive. Black Smoke Performance, 349-8785. Nearly everything today is about being safe and well, and Parkway Pharmacy has 2 great ways to get your prescriptions quickly, safely, and conveniently. Simply pull up curbside and call and let them know you're there, or circle around the building and drive through. And just in, a fresh inventory of Atalo, premium CBD oil and cream products for managing pain, anxiety, depression, rest, digestion, and more. All at Parkway Pharmacy in Salyersville. I've got a lot to talk about in sports tonight, which will also include not just highlights from last night's season opener for the Lady Hornets, but as well how they are divvying out tickets for home and away games under the current guidelines issued by the Kentucky High School Athletic Association. But before that, we've got COVID information to share. I just confirmed with the Magoffin County Health Department that we have a total of 8 cases for today. Now, this follows 9 that were reported yesterday, and while that is 2 days in the single digits, obviously it's also the 2 highest days that we've had in Magoffin County now. Perhaps going back as far as 2, maybe 3 weeks. I'll get more specific with that on tomorrow's program or soon thereafter, but definitely 2 of the highest days that we've had in quite some time after having several days that were either 0, 1, 2, 3, or 4 at most. Total cases today with those 8 total, 769 here in Magoffin County. 3 people are currently hospitalized according to the health department, and 190 have been vaccinated out of the initial 200 doses of the vaccine. The health department reporting just a few moments ago that 10 doses are indeed left. They do have a waiting list that is hundreds and hundreds long. I believe about 500 people on that list, 70 and older. We'll have an update in the vaccine as of right now. At this hour, they have no idea as to when or how many doses will be included when they do get the next round, but they do have a conference call the Director of Health, Pete Shepard, does with the state tomorrow, where they will hopefully learn when the next round of vaccines will be coming to Magoffin County. As for the state update for this evening, the governor promising a long-term care center vaccine update on this Thursday, also promising complete concentration on getting more vaccines to Kentuckians quicker, something that Kentucky is not the only state being frustrated with at this time. As far as who will be receiving the vaccines when we do get them and are able to get them out, the state by and large is still in the 1A category. That's your long-term care centers and healthcare personnel. The 1B category is your first responders and anyone over 70 and K through 12 school personnel. All of those they hope to have vaccinated by the end of February. Then after that, the next group would be the 1C group, and that's anyone 60 and older, anyone 16 and older who has health risks, and all essential work personnel. After that, it's the 40 and over and the 16 and over categories, but who knows when that will be. As even with about 6,000 people vaccinated since the last update yesterday, Kentucky has still only distributed about 66,000 of that initial 202,000 total vaccine allotment that it was set to receive in December, most of which has been received. A few still coming in. Another 50,000 doses of the Pfizer vaccine and Moderna vaccine to come as soon as next week. But again, Kentucky, like other states, with many small counties like Magoffin, Johnson, and Floyd, for example, able to give out more vaccine if they had it, while larger cities are just getting backlogged and not being able to get out the vaccine in high numbers. California, for example, as well, the very populous state of California, has only been able to get out a third of their vaccine as well. Similar numbers. It is a process that was underestimated by the federal government, says Beshear yesterday, and something that they are trying to work on to get what vaccines are actually here into the arms of Kentuckians. As far as today's numbers, our positivity rate is still high, 11.36%. That is troublesome. Our daily numbers today, low, but still an uncertainty as to why.
Today's report, again, it's going to take at least a week to figure out if the numbers from the last couple days were inflated because they were lab reports coming in, or if we're just going to see vacillation in the numbers for a couple days. Because today we're reporting 1,781 new cases of COVID-19. That's our lowest Tuesday in weeks. Hospitalizations up slightly, 1,760. ICU and ventilators both down. Kentuckians in the ICU, 430. Kentuckians currently on a ventilator, 215. That's just barely down. Positivity rate, 11.4%. Again, that's cause for concern, but it's going to, again, take a little bit of time for us to see the data on exactly what the causes are.
The governor also reporting an additional 26 deaths in Kentucky today. Something else I want to pass along on the COVID front today, something I found very interesting. After hearing this very concern from some viewers and readers of the Sagersville Independent, young women who hope to be mothers someday, either for the first or next time, a lot of myths being debunked about the COVID-19 vaccine, a lot of which come from all sorts of different sources. A lot of things that we should all be paying very close attention to. The allergic reactions, which have been actually recorded on small scales, but nevertheless, the warnings that justifiably do go with the coronavirus vaccine, but also the other information which, like the following, is just being called out as flat out wrong by scientists, the Pfizer company, and other experts are working hard to try to put aside one of the most recent and dangerous myths associated with the COVID-19 vaccines, that they may cause infertility in young women or women who wish to have a child. They say that these myths, such as this, and falsehoods are largely hindering, to some degree, efforts to deliver those vaccines safely and to anyone and everyone. Facebook has also started to actually flag and take down any and all misinformation in regards to the infertility question. It has been traced, and I'm going to just simply kind of quote a couple of reports that I read and researched back to their actual point of origin, because it's pages long. I've got several different sources in front of me, but essentially, from what I can tell, that the infertility question in regards to the vaccine goes back by a paper that was written by two scientists that was later shared on Facebook, of course. One was claiming to be a research department head at Pfizer, saying that it causes female sterilization, talking about the vaccine. There are a couple of problems with that. One, he is not the head of a department of any kind with Pfizer. Actually, a previous employee there more than a decade ago, which is no longer with Pfizer, but also a person who has been making several verified baseless and false claims about the pandemic essentially since it began. The other person in that original letter that started all of this is said to be a German doctor who was also, since the beginning of the pandemic, found to be spreading misinformation, including the fertility issue. Experts say, and if you just go Google it, read for yourself, there's hospitals, doctors, and alike from all over the nation saying that there's absolutely false. These are completely inaccurate, and that there is no form or fashion or no evidence related to all the scientific research that has been done, including pregnant women who have received the vaccination, that it can in any way cause any fertility issues. But that is something you can research for yourself. I spent a great deal reading it today, and again, it would take the rest of the show to go through what I do believe is accurate based on real medical professionals and personnel. And that goes for a whole lot of other issues besides the fertility issue. You can find anything that you want on the internet, as you know, but find the source. Find the source. And that goes for news in general as well. With that said, I have got a lot more ground to cover. Your calendar, I had to forego that last night due to some technical audio issues, but I'll pick that up with some belated birthdays after this. Of all the boxes you've been opening, this one right here will always be the tastiest, because inside is our famous recipe for the meal dreams are made of. Hot pies, stuffed with everything you crave. Always hot and always fresh. Always at your Sagersville, Lee's famous recipe. Drive safe and save this winter at Conley Tire in Staffordsville, or just go to conleytire.net to see the latest specials on thousands of all-season snow and off-road tires in stock every day. And you can take 6 months to pay with no interest at Conley Tire, 297-2424. Go with All Pro and you'll always get a perfectly finished project backed by decades of experience and thousands of satisfied customers. Always with the best prices on everything from small to large remodels, bathrooms to kitchens to entire homes, or turnkey new construction on everything from garages, homes to retail space. And seamless gutters too. And All Pro still offers 0% financing for up to 18 months and long-term low interest rates on those big projects. For an estimate, call this family-owned business today. Yeah, indeed, a few belated birthdays. I had to cut short the program last night, right about the time, or at the time, I got to the community calendar. So let's say happy birthday to a few folks. Rick Jordan called in last week to wish his wife Regina a happy birthday on the 31st, last Thursday, from Rick and the kids and your mom. Happy birthday, Regina. Happy birthday to you. And Amanda Perkins from Connie and Jackie also called in late last week. Birthday wishes to you. And to Ray Collinsworth, I was asked to wish a very happy 80th birthday to Ray on January the 2nd. Happy birthday, Ray, from a whole lot of friends and family. Happy birthday to you. And that's all I've got for the calendar tonight. Not a lot happening. Not unusual for the very first of the year, certainly during a pandemic as well. So when you need our calendar, it's always here for you. From there, obituaries brought to you nightly by the Magafa County Funeral Home, and we want to back up and cover a few since I couldn't get to obituaries last evening. 82-year-old Anna Faye Minix of Scott Avenue in Sagersville passed away on Tuesday the 29th, and funeral services in her honor were held this past Sunday. We know that she was born in Sagersville, the daughter of the late Sam and Lily Howard Minix, and preceded in death by her husband, J.B. Minix. 52-year-old Melvin Bailey of Sagersville, son of the late Arby and Desi Mullins Bailey, was laid to rest following services yesterday. Survived by two children, Shauna Mead and James Hopkins, 6 brothers, Ronnie and Philip and Gary, Donnie, Mike, Joe Bailey, sisters, Barbara Conley, Lois Smith, Kathy Smithers, Sue Perkins, 6 grandkids, and 1 great-grandchild. Services again held earlier yesterday. Judy Brown Salyer, 68, of Sagersville, passed away on Saturday, survived by her husband Gerald and son Gerald Milton Salyer, as well as daughters Alicia Blair, Michelle Harden, Faith Wilson, Olivia Grace Salyer, sisters Bessie Brown, Ollie Howard, and brothers John and Jack and Terry and DeMorris and Will Brown, as well as several grandchildren and 9 great-grandchildren. Funeral services in Judy Salyers' honor to be held this Wednesday afternoon at 1 at the Sagersville Free Will Baptist Church. The family will welcome friends this evening and prior to tomorrow's services. The Sagersville Funeral Home is in charge of arrangements. Haskell Hackpatrick, 89, of Sagersville, passed away on Saturday at the Woody Williams VA Center in Huntington, preceded in death by his wife, Halabia Arnett Patrick. Funeral services at last update were still incomplete, but to be announced soon by the Magaffin County Funeral Home. And lastly, this evening, services still being made at this hour, but to be announced soon in honor of 63-year-old James Jasper Owens of Lick Creek Road, who passed away yesterday, the husband of Vivian Owens, who survives. Again, arrangements to be announced soon by the Magaffin County Funeral Home.
I'm Dr. Jason Zimmerman at Highlands ARH, the healthcare system of Appalachia.
Well, weeks and weeks late, high school basketball has officially tipped off around the region and here in Magaffin County. It did so for the Lady Hornets last night, hosting the Lady Cardinals from Martin County. Now, you will, of course, if you roll back your memory, recall that the Martin County Lady Cardinals are the defending 57th District champs, minus a few players, but nevertheless bringing that experience to Magaffin County last night, where the Lady Hornets put up a valiant fight and showed a lot of excitement during the game that we're looking forward to carrying over to the rest of the, well, essentially brand new season. The Lady Hornets were down 20 early in the second half. That was until Lindsey Castle from Martin County got a good look at the three, but right after, next trip down, Magaffin County Stephanie Helton fires right back, and it wasn't her only three of the night. And also good for the three, sophomore Kennedy Williams chipping it down to 17. And here's Helton again early in the fourth with one of what will be 4 3-pointers on the night. And here's Angel Mullis for Magaffin County, who had 16 rebounds and 7 points last night, working underneath, getting it over to Jalen McCarty. And the Lady Hornets go down fighting against the Lady Cards last night. Final score 34 Hornets, 63 Martin County in the season opener for both girls programs. The Lady Hornets' next game right now, I stress right now, is set for this Thursday night. That is an away game at Phelps. Friday night they are hosting Prestonsburg here at home. I stress right now because in lieu of the pandemic, schedules are changing almost daily for teams. Our athletic director here in Magoffin County, Neil West, told me during the following interview that yesterday, prior to the season even tipping off, they'd had 3 cancellations, and we're trying to adjust and pick up games. And that's just going to be something that we're going to have to deal with throughout the rest of the season. Hoping to get the rest of the season in, obviously. I will keep you up to date as much as possible. But West with us tonight talks about how they are going to be handling seating for fans, mostly family, as of course the pandemic has some serious restrictions on how many, more specifically, people will be allowed in the gymnasium. A lot of emotions mixed, I'm sure, but high school basketball indeed is here. And with last night's game for the Lady Hornets, tonight's for the boys, well, parents are getting excited, but it's going to be a very limited number of fans and or family which will be allowed in the stands per KHSAA guidelines, which has left schools trying to accommodate everyone as much as possible with only a few hundred seats available in total for the Magoffin County High School gym, and it's a sizable gym. And that number also includes the players and all the athletes and coaching staff.
Per their guidelines, we're no more than allowed than 15% capacity in the gym. That's counting players, cheerleaders, dancers, referees, school personnel, coaches, everything. So we have broke it down where our visitors teams will get 9 in. They will buy them on GoFan, and they will sit on the visitor side, and those seats has been marked in pods of 3 to try to keep the numbers down. And we've separated them 5 foot, 6 foot apart, where you could sit comfortably and watch a ball game.
West says that they are being held to 15% capacity, which is a little more than 300 total people in the gym for the Magoffin County High School facility. As for the home team, each athlete will get up to 3 seats each, and that will be all that is available for now.
On the home team, we have gave all of our kids a card. It's a pass. What it is, it's a pass to get to the game to be able to buy a ticket. And some of them's got, for boys, has got the B on it. Girls has got G, and then we've got dancers and cheerleaders that have BG, where they will be participating in both games. So what they will do, each one of them got 3 passes. They take them home to their parents. The parents come to the gate. They present, first of all, they get their temperature checked before they even get in the building. Asked about, if they got any COVID issues, any symptoms, anything like that. Then they present the pass at the gate. We mark it off on the students because each one of them's got a number, and each number is labeled to a student that we know who's using what students' tickets, and they present the $5 and they come in and they find them a seat. It's first come, first serve. There's no reserve seats. Some people's used to sitting in reserve seats. You might be sitting up on top. Only thing that pass does is give you a seat in the game.
Again, no general admission, and they do have the seats marked very plainly. The first 2 rows behind the players' benches are completely cordoned off, and then thereafter they are staggered in groups of 3 with no one sitting directly beside or in front of or behind another person or group. And as for away games, West says, well, that varies quite a bit depending on each individual school.
Some places will use GoFan. Some places are using they send in a list where you put your child's name and how many tickets you're allowed for the person on it, and I'll have to send that back to the athletic director, and they will have it at the gate. So say, for instance, Rich, you was going to Johnson Central. You'd walk in, tell your child's name and your name, and you present your $5 and get in the ball game. There's no set rules on visitor teams and visitor games. Some teams are doing it the same way. Some schools are, and some schools are not. We are live streaming the games on our district webpage under McGoffin County Board of Education, McGoffin County School System. Our home games will be streamed live with no cost. Some school districts are charging you to watch it. We're not. You know, some places they go on the road, you can buy the package to watch the game. But we feel like we're going to try to take care of our parents or grandparents as easy as we can, because we know the times is hard right now with money and stuff like that. So any little bit that we can help with them to be able to see their kid or watch a ball game, that's what we're going to try to do.
There's no missing that this is the new McFarland and Tinker Law Office location on the Mountain Parkway in the former Farm Bureau building in Sagersville, just like there's no denying that their nearly 60 years of legal experience has won their clients millions and millions of dollars in disability, auto accident, and wrongful death cases. It's where your case matters to you and to us. McFarland and Tinker, also Griffey approved. And with that said, before I rush out to Pike Central for the rest of the evening and a little boys basketball, highlights of which you'll see back here tomorrow night, here's your Licking Valley RECC outlook. All in all, a relatively calm pattern for the outlook for the most of your 7 days. It's not too bad. It's going to be rather cloudy and gray, but not very active weather-wise. A little patchy drizzle tonight, continuing with about a low of 30 degrees. Maybe some freezing drizzle after 2 a.m., but gradually ending thereafter. I think the extreme upper elevations might see a little more that might impact travel for us. Freezing drizzle at most, but keep your eye on it. Keep your eye on it. We are going to be below the freezing mark, so it doesn't take much. Of course, as we very well know, in eastern Kentucky. Tomorrow, we'll hit our low 40s. Right around 41, we'll have winds light out of the north at 5 miles per hour or so, but dry. Mostly cloudy start to finish, and that light wind that will be coming calm by the end of your Wednesday. Still in the low 40s by Thursday, right around 43, 44 degrees. Still more clouds than not. Nighttime lows will get up into the 30s, back to around 31, with cloudy skies and a calm wind. Like I said, kind of gray but dry and calm. Friday will fall a few degrees back down to the upper 30s. Still cloudy, calm winds, cloudy and cold. Again, sums it up for the rest of your work week. For your Saturday, temperatures will fall again to the tune of another few degrees. We'll be in our low 40s tomorrow and Thursday, upper 30s Friday, but we'll fall down to our mid-30s by your Saturday. Saturday right now, though, looking to be the day, as soon as the graphic catches up with me, the first day that we'll see the sun return in at least some moderation. Partly sunny skies, 35 degrees for the first half of your weekend, and then we get to the teens for nighttime lows. We'll fall down to about 19 degrees under partly cloudy skies Saturday night. There we go, finally catching up. Sunday, partly sunny and 37. Still holding on to the 30s on your Monday. Upper 30s, but 30s nonetheless. A little sunshine Saturday and Sunday, but back to more clouds than not for your Monday, 38. Still no precipitation. A slight chance of our next round of precipitation is a little bit of a flurry action on your Tuesday of next week. I'm not really committed to that as of right now. So we're definitely in for a very dry next several days after that freezing drizzle tonight. That's it for me. Good night. Good Tuesday. See you back here tomorrow for the next edition of Your News Today. As always, again, thank you for watching.